Hello. So I'm packing for a trip. Um, I'm Me and my parents and my brother are going to Lake Erie in Ohio tomorrow morning. We will leave, be gone for about a week, get back on like the 7th or the 8th of April. So that's going to be great. Gonna go to a few little places, including New York and Niagara Falls, which is also in New York. Never been. Excited. Getting excited about the build up of the trip. So, yeah, I'm just gonna brief this last month. It's been interesting. First, I would just say life is bittersweet. You've all probably heard this phrase. Um, so going into it, so I guess negative then positive. Probably. Yeah, so negative first. Yeah, it's been like really tough, and I'm just like going through, in my opinion, too much. But I've, some of the things going back. So, I had, I'm thinking about it. Sorry. Um, I had, really been just like going through some intellectual problems with life. That's the biggest one. And how I would describe this is sorry, I'm tired right now, but I'm dedicated to making once a month upload. So this is for March. So, and I've been packing pretty much all day doing stuff. But yeah, so some intellectual stuff with life because I'm theoretical and I like to understand things. Um, So I had really been just like believing in like what I would call a half truth, where it's like some of it's correct, but some of it's not quite correct. And my approach, my approach has been like strictly like faith, but without action. A lot of like important action or in belief in myself, because I was more on a depressive phase where I've just been having depression symptoms on my mental health journey. I've had anxiety and depression. Um, I have just I have just not really been believing that I could create my own reality. Like I feel like I need to wait for the Lord to come down and create it for me or make things happen. Because it's like the attitude where you're only human and you can only do so much. And that's kind of where I had what I had felt that what I'd been going through with my experience as being a human, feeling like I'm trying, but I'm trying in the ways that I know how to try, like in the little things, but not believing in myself to do anything bigger, but and better. But I was just feeling confused about life, anyways, during this phase of my life. Um, Beforehand, I used to be on more of the other extreme because I'm talking about like extremes, like the anxiety being at the top and like depression being at the bottom of the extremes, where anxiety is like I had gone through that a lot in the past and still do at times, but with the one top end, it's like trying to harness the control yourself, trying to take control and feeling like you can take on the whole world if you want to, feeling like you can just do whatever. Um, but it harms your health in that thinking, and you want to get things done fast. Like things, you feel like things need to get done right then and there. And that was a phase where I had too much faith in like myself, but not enough faith in God. And that's a great way to explain anxiety. I had gone through many phases of that in the past where I couldn't complete many of my goals, and it would just lead up to disappointments. Then I just got drained, sucker punch from life. I got drained, and then I'm in a depression that I haven't ever faced. Going back about a year and a half ago or so, when I started to get it, maybe even 2 years ago, when I started to get depression, I think. My first experiences was during college. I had to take a break from college before I could finish because I was burned out. So that was right before I turned 20. Um, yeah, I had to take 2 semesters off. I was just burned out. And then after that break, I was able to finish the last 2 semesters and get the degree, which I will show you guys that degree. It's up somewhere in my it's up here. I'll just go ahead and show where it's at. See what you guys can see in this angle. But yeah, I don't know what y'all would have saw on the camera, but I will display that. Um, yeah, I worked really hard for that 2 year degree, which I got in 3 years' time. I got it in 3 years, which is not bad at all. Um, yeah, right after high school, I went for it. In the I think the spring, no, the fall semester. Yeah, the fall semester. Um, so yeah, with when and then I got to a depression that I hadn't faced before, and I'd had depression ever since. So it's like described as, for me it was like gaining faith but not having it in myself, like wanting God to rescue me from life and do something about it because I didn't feel like I could. So just being like, okay, I trust you, I have faith in you, but I don't have faith in myself. And I wasn't taking action. I was just sitting around like this, like in my room. Spent so much time in this room. Countless days like just hanging out in this place, in this nice little room of mine. Just drinking tea, listening to basic music, eating, basic stuff. Just life, like just survival mode. Yeah, survival mode. Where I'm just like, dude, I don't know anymore. I don't know what I can do anymore as a person. Like, what's your plan for me? Because I have no clue, anyways. And plus, your ideas are far better than mine. So, what I do, what should I do? So, it's two extremes. But I'm looking for a balance right here, a nice balance, and that's been very hard for me to find. Balance is that thing. I desire it, but it's it feels impossible sometimes to achieve that. But I'm finding strategies. I'm thinking it through. Because eventually, like, the good thing about me is I know my future is secure. I know it's very good and bright. I feel like that's confirmed to me, but I got to put in the effort and take the steps on this like healing journey to get where I know I can end up. And it's really exciting to have. It's really good to have that future outlook. That is what's helping me to really fight what I'm going through. To know that I'm gonna get there eventually. But now I had gotten to define or determine that I was believing in a half truth. I had to get some confirmations from a few people about how life actually goes. Because I just wanted to understand how life works. Just like understanding that with, knowledge about that before I felt like I could really go out there and tackle creating my life. But yeah, so basically for me, I was between an A B scenario. A looks like God having a plan that was one shot plan, but I need to be methodical to make sure I'm taking those decisions to be on that route. Like God has a plan for our future, right? It literally says, I know, and I'm reading like on my mug. It's a verse that says, I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, which is Jeremiah 39:11. Then on the inside it says, my hope is in you, Psalms 39:7. So that's all me. But I need to pair that with belief in myself. Like, I can create my reality and I can go after something and it'll like we'll work together. So yeah, it's been a unique faith journey for me, for sure. And also combined with a mental health journey, of course, a spiritual journey like we're all on. But yeah, finding a balance. What looks like me putting in my effort, but being okay if things are not working out right or like the way I want them to on my timing, and like always getting back up and keep going. Like it also looks like having continuous motivation, because I struggle with motivation and consistency to keep going at any specific thing. Even being on a time schedule is very hard for me. Um, but to find that encouragement and keep having just as much faith in what God's doing, it's hard to find that balance, but I will work on it. I will find it. It's just a matter of time. And yeah, it feels like a tug of war. Like it's like spiritual battles where we're like going against ourselves, negative voices in our head, you know, going against those things. So like, yeah, to find what we're looking for, which is just God's peace. Really, we're just looking for that security that only God can truly provide for us. And like only God can heal us as well. Like we can't really heal ourselves. That's hard. That's really, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah. Um, I guess I'm thinking about how I'm gonna wrap this, but it's been a great brief, a great conversation. Oh yeah, the positive. Yes, of course. So yeah, besides the battles and everything that I had been facing over the last several years of my life, that's fair. Going back to my teenhood, and now I had just turned 22 like a week ago. So I turned 22 on March 26th. Um, and I feel like my mind's just expanding. Um, so the positive side of things here is like the last few months I'd gone on a few trips, a few you call them vacations, to a few different places to just yeah like just have some new experiences. Um, First in January, went with my my one of my church group, the young adults group at church. We went to this thing called Passion 2023, which was just a strong spark to the new year. Getting young people like me, young adults motivated to follow Jesus. And it was at a big stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, where we just like listened to worship music and listened to guest speakers. Um, it was great. First time I ever went. So then in February, I had gone with my grandma, grandpa, and then my grandma's like sister and brothers. So to thinking of where we went. I was thinking of the second trip because I went on two different trips with them. But the first trip, I'm pretty sure, if what I can recall, because I remember the second trip, that was a March trip, but the February trip I went on, I'm trying to refresh myself. Um, but we went to like, oh yeah, Branson, Missouri. We just went to like it was almost like a house style with a hotel slash house. I don't know what you would call it. It just had different rooms in a big house for like, in a basement and then an upper room with different rooms that were like hotel style. Don't know what you call it, but it was cool. It was like little like resort. And since I am in a phase of my life now where I'd finished college, but have yet to start my first job because I'm finding life motivation to get to the place where I spark myself. I haven't gotten to that point just yet, but I've been taking the last year, just figuring things out, and so I've been like open. I've been like available to just have whatever opportunities come my way. I'll take the opportunities that come my way, which is great. I'm an opportunist, so I just went with them. I was invited to go, and I got to have a few new experiences. I got to catch up with that side of my family and get to know them better. That's always nice. And we didn't do like a whole lot on that trip. We just kind of hung around a general area and caught up. Everybody just talked. Then the March trip I went on in mid March, I went to yeah not Nashville, but someplace Tennessee. I think it's Sevierville. No, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So I got to do that with my grandma, grandpa, my grandma's brother, and his wife. So I'm obviously by far like the youngest one hanging out, but I'm cool. I can hang out with everybody, you know. But yeah, that was cool. I got to do like four bucket list things that I wanted to do for like a long time on that trip. I got to go indoor skydiving. It was like a simulator for what it could feel like to skydive. Not quite, but it was cool to do. I went before in the past to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and I didn't meet the weight requirements to do a few activities. But I ever since I'd lost like 77 pounds, no joke, and now I can do all of these activities. So I was able to do that, and I was able to ride a mountain coaster. That was really cool. And a mountain glider, a mountain coaster, and a mountain glider. Um, and then the fourth activity, I got to go to this place called Top Jump, just a indoor trampoline park, which I love that stuff. It's all adrenaline stuff I love. So I got to have that experience, and yeah, really thankful for these experiences that have really like sparked something. It's been very good to have. Um, so yeah, cool stuff. So yeah, there's it's life is bittersweet. That's a good way to put it. You just gotta focus on the good stuff, right? Easier said than done, but there's always so much potential. We all have so much potential, and it's in faith and belief in ourselves. Put it together, and I believe we're unstoppable if we can achieve that balance that I was talking about. Try to like have that full faith in God, but like believe in yourself too, and see what happens. So with that, this has been really a really good conversation. Um, I think that's pretty much all I was thinking. But yeah, there's some good stuff I'm looking forward to putting on my next YouTube video. Um, but I'll just let that be a mystery. So have a nice month ahead, you guys. I will talk to you guys in the next video.